Hello, welcome to Doing Yoga with me. This is just going to be a super relaxing, stay on the floor yoga practice where we can bring our feet up in the air, let go a little bit, and just kind of take a break from whatever's going on in your day. So I'm actually going to move this closer to you. And let's start out lying down, however you're comfortable. And just whatever you feel. I know every time I do this multiple times a week, but every time I do, I just really feel a nice release. So notice where it feels good to let go here. And breathe with it gently, and just observe whatever breathing's going on in your body. And then see if you can slow your breathing a bit and create more width at the base of the throat. Which will create more width in the rib cage, the chest and the belly rise. And then as you exhale, look at that breath, like you're fogging up a window with your breath. Notice the timing of your breathing. Could be 4 or 5, however many counts as you breathe in. And then breathe out, maybe a few counts longer than the inhale. Then add a little movement in your fingers, your feet. And slowly bring each leg up in the air. Add any movement that you might like in your legs, your feet, your ankles, your hands. And then bring your knees to your chest and add a little side-to-side movement. And then bring your feet to the floor and your arms out wide and add a little side-to-side movement with the knees. They don't have to stay together or anything. You're just creating a little bit of warming up in those hips and the low back. And then with the feet on the floor, lift the right leg in the air. If you can reach that leg, you could hold on there if you have a strap or a belt or something. Robe tie, what are those called? Sash. Anything that you could put around your foot if you can't reach your foot or your calf. But draw that leg closer to your face. That left foot could stay right there on the mat. And if it is on the mat, try not to let that knee go out. Try to keep the foot flat. You could also lengthen out that leg, whichever is more comfortable for you. But give it a little time with slow breathing. And then soften in the knees and bring both legs up. Add some kicks or rotations. And we'll do that with the right foot down, the left leg up. Could have that strap around the foot or reach for that leg. One side might feel a lot different than the other. This one does for me. But notice where you're getting that lengthening. You could lengthen out the other leg if you like. Find where that works for you. And resume that slow, spacious breathing. And then bring the other leg up. And again, add a little movement. And then we're going to do a variation with Happy Baby. So Happy Baby, usually the knees are out wide. We're reaching for feet around above. or some might work better to reach for ankles. Just bring your hands on top of the shins or ankles and just play with a little bit of movement. It could be alternating legs, or they could move, kind of mirror-like, whether it's bending, or sometimes I pretend like it's a giant crayon in my hand and I'm drawing in the ceiling, drawing shapes in the air. And then come into Happy Baby where the knees are bent, and maybe you find those ankles or feet. Another option that I like is to bring the elbows inside the knees, if that works for you, if the legs are down far enough. The weight of the elbows could be on the leg there, and you could reach around the outside of the foot. Just any variation that you'd like here, legs up in the air. I always think no one tells a baby how to do it. They just do it. Feels good for them. So always feel free to explore. You could add movement or you could be still with it. And Happy Baby. And anytime you come onto the mat, not only do what feels right within, parameters of what a yoga teacher would suggest, but you could also do something completely different. If you think, that really doesn't work for me, but this does, do something different. That's fine too. It's your time to tune into your body and see what you need. And then lower the feet to the floor. Let your legs lengthen out. And it's harder than it seems. When we've had the knees in, it's always harder to open up there. And then you can choose if you want to bring both arms up overhead long. Hands may hover. They may touch the floor. You could also make your arms more diamond shape, the elbows out wide. But finding a way to open in the chest and the shoulders. You're actually giving yourself a little back bend here. With that extension in the body. You could soften your gaze or close your eyes. And breathe slowly here. And then gradually bring your arms forward again. And we'll do a twist. If you have a yoga block, I'm going to get one. Have a handy. You could use that to support your leg as it comes across the body. Sometimes it's nice to have there for the knee or the foot, but it's not necessary. It's just an option. I'm going to place two there because you never know where it's going to land. You might even have a cushion or a bolster. And the left leg's out long, right leg's in the air. Right end comes out on the floor. And bring that bent leg across the body, whether it's supported there with a prop or not, is fine as long as you feel good here. Often I do this in my class recordings, the live stream classes. And when I get to the other side, I usually have my mat more aligned with that cabinet behind me. And I go to the other side and I'm not twisting very far. But even though my leg has found that cabinet, it's not going as far, it still feels amazing. Anytime you have support, even if it's not, to the end of that range of motion, you can get some nice benefits. Go ahead and come on up. So if you're running into a piece of furniture, as long as you run into it softly, go ahead and come back up, add some movement with your feet, your hands. And then we'll do that on the other side. Got a prop handy, you could move it to the other side and lengthen out the right leg. Left leg in the air, left arm out long to anchor you in that twist and find where that twist feels good here. Relax with it as you breathe. If it works for you to breathe in and out through your nose, your mouth's just relaxed, closed. We tend to drawn in the mouth and the jaw. Just let that relax. And if you even need to separate the lips a little bit to do that, I won't tell anyone. I'm always about, I prefer to breathe in and out through my nose when I'm doing yoga, but there are times that I feel like my mouth's not really relaxing, you know, like at the end in Shavasana. So I found that I can separate in the mouth, separate in the teeth, and still get that fullness of breath, breathing in primarily through the nose. If you initiate that action of widening of the throat, it brings that breath in wider there. And then bring the knee back to the center. I don't know if that made any sense, but breathing, I think when we think about breathing through the mouth, it's more like we've got a straw and we're sucking on the straw, you know, like a drink or something. And so the nose just kind of helps it come in a deeper way. So the next thing I'm going to do is go to the wall. And if you don't have a wall where you are, you could use a door, but lock it from the other side. When I used to teach at the fire department, they'd always do that, so no one would walk in. You could also do these things at the edge of a bed or a couch or a chair, and I'll show you how. If you want to watch, I'll demonstrate first. So we're going to do figure 4. Figure 4, often we start here at the floor, we bring a foot over the knee, and we bring the knees into the chest. We're using the upper body to get that hip opening. Here, you start here. If you had a bed, you might start with your feet beyond. And the right foot goes over the left knee, and then you slide that foot down the wall. Could be higher than the knee or knee height. And if you're not getting a good stretch at that position, you might want to get a little closer to the wall or even go a little left or right. Sometimes that can get you there. And if you're at a piece of furniture, that foot could be at the edge of it. So instead of on top of it, it's like the ball of the foot or the heel. Is that a heel? Yeah, the heel. is getting that support from that bed or chair or whatever it was. So arms get to relax here. That's one nice benefit of this, where you can open, get that hip opening. But let the upper body relax. Any arm position is fine. Take 3 more breaths here. If the arms are above our head, bring them back to the front. Release that foot. And you can choose whether just to let the legs be long or still, or if you want to add a little movement before we go to the other side. And then the second side, set up and explore and see how or where it works here, where that feels good for you. It can always have a different approach, if that's appropriate. And once you find where that feels nice for you, just let your face relax, your arms relax, and breathe slowly with it here. Continue breathing slowly. 3 more breaths. And then go ahead and release out of it. And then turn to the side, and I'm going to give you a choice of doing a child's pose or a down dog. Child's pose, knees on the floor, hips back, arms can be long or bent. Down dog, more active. Hands are wide on the mat, toes are tucked, and you're pushing into the mat. I usually check to see if my feet are symmetrically spaced, whether they're hip width or a little wider from the edges of the mat. Just finding where I could line up there. This is also an inversion to do downward facing dog. The heart higher than the head. Take a few more breaths here. And then slowly come on down to hands and knees, or come out of your child's pose. And then I'm going to give you an option for our restorative inversion to use legs up the wall if you'd like. Another option, like I said, if you've got furniture, the legs could be there and you're lying down. I'm going to scooch all the way up to the wall. If you're able to sit up right without some rounding in the low back, you're probably able to go all the way to the wall. If you have some rounding in the low back or knees need to be bent, usually getting further away from the wall is helpful. You could also place a bolster block or something under your low back. I do that a lot of times in classes. If you take classes with me, it's another option if you really don't have wall space. But I recommend that support, because just like in life, we can sense a difference when we have support and when we don't. And when we do, we just relax more. We do. We're able to, he ain't heavy, he's my brother, or lean on me, or all those songs that support us. So go ahead and find your way into an inversion. Legs can be straight up. If you're using furniture and the calves are resting on something, that's fine too. You could also take the feet out wider, but if you choose to do the wider feet, at some point bring them back up, because it becomes less restful. Legs up the wall can be done for Shavasana. It's very restful for the body. Feet out wider is stretching in those tissues, so it's more of a yin, a deep stretch. But it's also a nice inversion. So feel free to play with different options at the beginning of your inversion, or if you're already right where you want to be, legs up the wall, legs straight up, or supported in some way. Assess how you feel as you breathe. And since we are going for restorative Shavasana, you can cover your eyes if you have an eye pillow or a cloth or something you want to put over the eyes to help it be darker. You could also add a blanket if it's a little chilly where you are. But use this time to let go in multiple layers. So often I think of letting go, and then I feel like I need to do it again and again and again. And I kind of feel like it like lightning walking down a hill, step after step after step. Letting go in the face, the shoulders, throughout the body. And just breathe with it gently here. Take a few more breaths right where you are. And notice if your body feels like you need more time where you are. Or if you can ease out with some gentle movement. It could just be a little movement, like sometimes blinking the eyes a lot. Or movement in the fingers or the feet. If you do need more time, you can ignore my voice and stay here as long as you like. And if you feel ready to ease out of it, continue adding movement, you can find your way away from the wall or out of your Shavasana. And turn to the side or come on up to seated. If you come up to seated, I always have to add a little more movement. I feel like I've got something on me. And feel free to add movement where you need it. And then eventually just let your hands relax and bring your hands to your heart. And take a few more breaths. So glad that you took some time for yourself today. Feel free to do this anytime that you need to. Namaste. Thank you, thank you. So glad that you could join me. Let me know if you ever have any requests for other yoga classes. I'm planning to record more. And until then, hope you have a wonderful day. Bye.